Enrique at this point, right? Marina Mabry changes everything for them because she gets them into their rhythm when the game slows down. When the game speeds up, Enrique can make every play. These are their career numbers. Enrique Agumbawale is averaging 24.5 points per game. She is taking the second most field goals in the country at better than 19 a game. Mabry will help Enrique not have to take so many tough shots tonight.
Big crowd here in South Bend. Ready for this top 25 matchup. Iowa in black, Notre Dame in white, and we are underway here in South Bend. And an early three knocked down by Mabry.
Hello and welcome back, Marina Mabry.
Returned against Oregon State last time out, was battling a quadriceps injury and a turnover on the first possession for Iowa.
The one thing about Iowa, they're -4 in the turnover margin, so when you're playing against the pace of Notre Dame, you cannot have live ball turnovers.
Notre Dame forcing on average 16 turnovers a game. Brianna Turner. Shepard outside Mabry, won't stay down. Rebound for Mackenzie Meyer. Here's Alexis Sevillin.
Keep an eye on number 10, black, at the top of the key. That's Megan Gustafson. She's stepping out on the wing right here. Notre Dame starting out in a zone.
Iowa's going to have to make threes here today. They can't knock down that three from Sevillin, and Notre Dame pushes it back the other way. Iowa recovers. Turner. Jackie Young, second chance here for the Irish.
And while Mabry was out, Jackie Young ran the point for Muffet McGraw. It's a position she normally doesn't play. Last year, everyone played out of position based on their injuries, but certainly has added to her skill set.
Jordan Nixon, the freshman, had started the first three at the point, but she's out and dealing with concussion. Turner inside, Gustafson trying to hold her ground. Help comes from Hannah Stewart for Iowa. Notre Dame still with it. Agumbawale batted away.
See, the ball can't get stuck, and there was nothing for Enrique to do over there in the corner.
Sevillin drops it back to Stewart. Hannah Stewart having a tremendous senior year. She had come off the bench in 78 career games before getting her first start this year. She's averaging 13.5 points a game.
And Eric, if she can hit that high post shot as Mabry hits her second triple of the first quarter. But if Hannah Stewart can knock down that high post shot, it will loosen things up for Megan Gustafson inside.
Mabry had 9 points in 19 minutes, and that come from behind win for Notre Dame against Oregon State in her season debut.
So Jess Shepard is playing behind Megan Gustafson, and they're trying to front her when they can.
Foul's going to be called on Iowa's Megan Gustafson. There you see Muffet McGraw, 32nd season at Notre Dame. 37th overall, 894 career wins as she closes in on 900 at a rapid pace. 12-game winning streak right now for the Irish, 6-0 this season. Good feet inside and Turner the finish.
You know, Notre Dame, the first thing they did in practice yesterday was spend time on that play, the breakdown, the lob, making sure that everyone knew how to throw it and where Brianna Turner wanted to catch it.
Sevillin, the pull-up is good. Redshirt sophomore from Goodrich, Michigan, has started each game this year. Iowa playing without Kathleen Doyle. Has been a primary starter the last couple of years in the backcourt, but she has a broken hand, non-shooting hand. Looks like she's going to be out at least another week.
And Doyle's father went to Notre Dame. One of her brothers played baseball here. It was a really disappointment for her not to be able to play with her teammates.
Shepard fights inside, and that's where Notre Dame's going to get a lot of their points, inside. Meyer can't hit the three, follows up her miss. Sevillin can't hit. Stewart knocked it out of bounds. It'll be Notre Dame ball.
And Mackenzie Meyer is making 3 triples a game. She's number 3 in black. You have to keep an eye on her for Lisa Bluter.
19th season at Iowa, 35th overall. Coached at Drake, Northern Iowa alum. 24 wins last year, an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. Agumbawale gets her first points. 4 different scores here in the first 4 minutes for Notre Dame, and a turnover for Iowa.
Good work against the zone. Nice backdoor cut by Arike. An easy 2 for Arike Ogunbowale.
Shepard looks for the cutting Ogunbowale. It's a turnover for the Irish, who are up by 8 here in the early going, down by 14 against Oregon State up in Vancouver. That was in the second quarter. Oregon State led for 31 minutes in that game. Notre Dame, strong comeback to stay undefeated.
Oregon State's a really good basketball team, and Destiny Slocum is their point guard. She changes a lot of stuff for them, especially their tempo.
Batted out of bounds by Notre Dame. Iowa will hold on to it. Iowa, last time out, lost to Florida State at the Junkaroo Jam in the Bahamas. That was on Saturday, a day after a thrilling win over West Virginia. There's Gustafson.
Her first touch, okay, and look how deep she catches it, and she goes over that right shoulder. 77% from the floor. She leads the nation in field goal percentage.
54 for 70 already this season. Not this time for Mabry, and Gustafson has a rebound. She leads the team in rebounds with 12.5 to go along with her 23 points a game. Davis, open look. These have to go down for Iowa if they're going to hang here with #1 Notre Dame. And here's what the Irish do so well. Ogunbowale, the floater, yes. Timeout called by Iowa. Ogunbowale with 4 early points. An 8-point lead for the Irish here in South Bend.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Nissan. Innovation that excites.
Started was the senior from Belmar, New Jersey. Knocked down 163s last year and the year before, junior and sophomore combined. So you know she can shoot threes. It's going to take her a little while to get up to game speed, but she looks pretty good here in the opening minutes.
She looks great, and she had a leg injury, why she missed the first 5 games. But she gets them in rhythm. You know, she can not only stretch the floor, she handles at the point. She also knows what they're doing on the defensive end.
Ogunbowale puts up the shot. Shepard to Jackie Young. Mabry will try again. That one was tipped by Meyer and Turner. Well, 4 starters are back from the national championship team, and then the 5th starter is someone who was a starter before she went out with a knee injury. That's Brianna Turner, such a factor on the boards and defensively. Ogunbowale throws it up and draws the foul.
See, 1 on 3, and she's going to the free throw line.
She has attempted at least 19 shots in each and every game. Sunday, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific time on ESPN2. These #1 Notre Dame Fighting Irish taking on #2 UConn in the Women's Jimmy V Classic right here in South Bend. Should be an instant classic that you can also watch on the ESPN app from anywhere. That #1 shining brightly atop Grace Hall because there's a top-ranked team here on campus here in South Bend. Just to remind everybody, they'll be there for UConn to see when they get here on Saturday.
You know, I was talking to Arike Ogunbowale at practice yesterday, and I said, hey, what about, you know, all the hype for UConn? She said, we have not talked about UConn one time in practice yet. I guess that will start tomorrow.
Danielle Patterson is in the game for Notre Dame.
Working against the 2-3 zone. Watch #10 right here with the ball.
Zion Sanders is in for Iowa, and there's Gustafson. If she gets it in deep, she's going to finish.
She's highly skilled. She loves to go over that right shoulder. Her footwork is terrific. Her WNBA stock continues to rise.
Stewart gets called for the foul. Gustafson, the Big Ten Player of the Week for the 3rd consecutive week. Had 16 points, 8 boards against Florida State. They just didn't allow her to get enough shots off. 8 shots total in that game. She was 8 for 8. Perfect night for the 2nd time this year. She was 13 for 13 in the win against Western Kentucky. Good push by Meyer to Stewart.
No ball pressure. No one stopped the basketball in transition. And Iowa quickly up the floor after a made basket. Notre Dame likes to run a lot of stuff through the high-low, through the shoot area, in the pinch. And their offensive rebounding is something that Lisa Bluter was really concerned about. If you were paying attention in the locker room, it was the first thing she had written on the board.
There was a lot to unravel there in that locker room speech. I liked it. So Patterson gets her first points.
I mean, look at how Megan Gustafson has to play in a crowd. There are 3 or 4 white jerseys surrounding her.
Caitlin Gilbert also in the game for Notre Dame. Ogunbowale knocks down another one. 7 quick points for the senior.
Notre Dame just runs a little drag in transition, and Ogunbowale comes off with a mid-range jump shot.
Patterson hustled back to knock it away.
When Notre Dame pushes, you don't always get matched up. And see, Tania Davis gets caught on the screen. You got to get over the top of that. Because if you go under, she's going to step back and shoot a 3. But she loves to play in that drag action.
So Gustafson to the bench. Meyer sits down as well. Sevillin back on for Iowa.
Iowa still has not hit a 3.
Junior Amanda Ollinger into the game. Here she is with it in the corner for the Hawkeyes. Floater won't drop, batted out by Shepard. But a foul called here on Iowa.
I was talking to Ollinger as Lisa Bluter's looking for who the foul is on. Ollinger, before the game, came out to warm up eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I thought that was kind of cool. I thought that maybe I'd keep an eye on her to see if it actually helps.
I think this was Lisa Bluter, who's like, wait a minute, Ted Sedlasky, who's the foul on? The foul's not on Iowa. That's where they were going, and he corrected it, and the foul is on Jessica Shepard for Notre Dame. So Shepard will head to the bench.
Well, Jessica Shepard has been terrific early in the season. She's down 33 pounds since she arrived at Notre Dame. Looks really good.
Three-pointer is good. Tania Davis hits the 3. 9 of 24 from outside the arc now this season. Gustafson back into the game. Iowa has it back down to single digits at 8. Patterson. Wally on the offensive glass. She'll launch a 3. Turner, another chance, and Jackie Young will head to the free throw line. Notre Dame will spend a lot of time at the free throw line, second in the country in free throws made on the season. And here's Young stepping to the stripe, as Deb mentioned. She's been on 23 points, team high in the win against Oregon State last time out. 9 rebounds, 7 assists, no turnovers in that win for the Irish.
She has been this week the ESPNW Player of the Week, while Arike Ogunbowale, coming out of Vancouver in the Vancouver Showcase, was the MVP. And neither one of them was ACC Player of the Week.
Meyer back in. Davis attacks the zone and scores.
Really nice ball fake at the top. You get a couple of ball reversals, make the zone work, get in the gap. And when you're 5'3", you better have a floater if you're going to go in there.
Davis has had each of the last 2 seasons come to a premature end due to knee injuries. Lisa Bluter says she's just been so injured, she hasn't been able to truly show what she can do. 5 points to lead Iowa here in the first quarter. Deep 3 from Gilbert is good.
Wow, you play good D, you communicate every action defensively, and Notre Dame's 5th option on the floor hits a triple.
Notre Dame didn't get any bench scoring in the win against Oregon State. They've got 5 points here in the first quarter from the bench. Gustafson.
I mean, it's almost like automatic. She is so smooth, so good around the window. I was watching her do the Mikan drill today, you know, where you toss it out to your left hand, right hand. I mean, she didn't even hit the rim.
Probably long hours of doing the Mikan drill in Fort Wayne, Wisconsin. Turner gets fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line.
See how quick that move was? See, Brianna Turner on the floor in a Notre Dame uniform. She scores on putbacks, on drop-offs, and rim runs. She adds the ability to go off the bounds with a quick move like that. That adds another weapon for Notre Dame.
She's been pretty good, 4th on the team in scoring, but this is a team that averages almost 89 points a game. So she's averaging 14 points a game, 8 boards a game, leads the team in block shots, 8 blocks out of her 10 this year coming in the last 3 games.
She's active. She's got a good motor. She works hard. She had a chance to graduate and move on. She decided to come back. You don't get to dip your toe in the WNBA draft experience and then come back. That's not how it works in the WNBA. That's the NBA. There's no one and dones out here. There's a lot of really good seniors with a lot of talent, though.
Turner rolls to the basket, the feed from Young, and another trip to the free throw line coming up.
Foul committed by Hawkeyes number 43, Amanda Olinger.
Olinger picks up the foul. That's her first. Just 1 foul called on Notre Dame so far. That was on Shepard. 6 fouls already on Iowa.
You know, Eric, if you play the same way all the time, you can never affect the rhythm of the game. And Brianna Turner affects the rhythm of the game. So does Marina Mabry, because they both have impact and can add value without even having the ball in their hands. Especially on the defensive end, Brianna Turner changes things at the rim.
Shot clock off, final 10 seconds of the first quarter. Sanders. Notre Dame switches up the defense, puts a little pressure on. Olinger can't hit. Sanders batted it out of bounds with 7/10 to go in the first.
Danielle Patterson left the ball and gave Iowa a wide open look.
That will do it for the first quarter. Started with a Mabry 3. Notre Dame stretched it out to double digits. They're up by 11 at the end of 1. Coming up, a special B-Week connection between the Hawkeyes and their newest teammates. At the end of 1 quarter, Notre Dame, number 1 in the country, on top of 14th ranked Iowa, 28-17. Well, who's the most valuable Hawkeye? It may be 6-year-old Harper Stribe. She was diagnosed with stage 1 embryonal rhabdomyosarcoma in June of 2017. Soon after, a trio of Hawkeyes spent time with her at the Ronald McDonald House in Iowa City near Carver Hawkeye Arena. That first meeting with Megan Gustafson, Tania Davis, Alexis Sevillin was just the start of a great friendship with the team. They'd visit Harper when she was in town for treatments at the Stead Family Children's Hospital. She would visit them in practices. They were there when she had her final chemo treatment to send her off. And it's a perfect way to remind you that you can join in the fight as well against cancer. You can donate now at v.org/donate. But you got a little look at what this Iowa team, this family is like, and just how they've interacted with Harper. She was adopted by the team, Friends of Jacqueline Foundation. So she's got a locker that's in there all the time at Iowa City. So just a great job by Iowa to make Harper feel part of this Iowa program.
If you can give, it doesn't matter how much, it will make a difference. The V Foundation will use the money for research to help people like Harper and her family.
Well, Gustafson stays perfect. She's 4 for 4 from the field. Back to a 9-point game.
So Notre Dame has 9 offensive rebounds on 11 missed shots. I'm sure Lisa Buter was talking about boxing out.
Feed to Mabry. Nice little finish by the senior.
Yeah, Marina Mabry just knows how to play. Great dive from the top. Perfect time to basket cut off the offensive rebound.
Tipped out of bounds. Officials are looking around saying it was not tipped.
Just a little drop off right there. Nice feed, high off the glass by Mabry.
Ten offensive rebounds for Notre Dame, 9 total rebounds for Iowa here in the first half.
Iowa had to get out of the zone. They've gone to the man off this timeout, changing up their defense.
It'll be Iowa basketball. Gustafson leading the way, 4 for 4 from the field. She has 8 points for Iowa. Good balance for Notre Dame. Turner with 7, Agumbawale with 7. Mabry leading the way with 8. Kenzie Myers, the best shooter for Iowa. Davis hasn't been afraid here. Take the shot, batted around, and an offensive rebound here for Iowa, but it doesn't last long as Jackie Young fights for it. Last touch by Iowa, Notre Dame ball.
Watch the reach in right here. Wow, that's a tough call to go against Iowa.
Young, little hesitation, moves to the right hand, follows up her miss, and Iowa is just getting pounded on the glass, counting the foul.
So frustrating for head coach Lisa Bluter. I mean, she's only been doing it for 35 years as a head coach, 19 at Iowa. Jackie Young just does a nice job of rebounding her own miss. 2 hands, back up strong. That's the difference in the game right now. Iowa just can't keep Notre Dame off the boards.
Or off the free throw line. Notre Dame 6 of 9 from the free throw line. Iowa has not attempted a free throw so far. Davis, that's a spot she's been trying to find, and she's been successful there.
Really good read, good probe. Doing a nice job of attacking. Half-court pressure by Notre Dame.
Agumbawale takes it at Meyer. Shepard, another offensive rebound, and 2 more on the putback.
Boy, Notre Dame just relentless on the boards.
Another one.
Another 3 floaters.
Davis is saying, well, I'm just going to keep taking them if you're going to keep giving it to me. 9 points, came in averaging 12 a game.
So they go to their horns, and this is an isolation opportunity where you've got Jackie Young on a post-up. It's a good dive to the block by Muffet McGraw and a good call from the bench.
Foul on Sanders, that's her first. Agumbawale. 9 points on 4 of 8 shooting for the senior from Milwaukee. 14-point lead for Notre Dame. 6-0 on the season. They've won 27 in a row here in South Bend.
So Gustafson got the weak side seal, but they're not seeing her on the diagonal. Because on this side of the zone, where she is number 10, she's got Arike Agumbawale. She's got the size advantage. Now watch right here. She's posting up. See, you can't get her the ball there. You missed her on the skip from the ball reversal. See, right there, look at her. If you throw that basketball to the corner of the backboard, she can get it. She's the only one that can catch it if you throw it there from that angle.
Shot clock at 1. Agumbawale lost the handle. Stewart will take advantage.
Well, Hannah Stewart having a good first half. Nice counter and balance to what Megan Gustafson can do.
6 points, 3 rebounds for Stewart.
I mean, that's going to be the narrative for Iowa as the season goes on. Everyone's going to collapse on Gustafson. They run the same play, E. They just run it for the other side for Arike to post up. It's part of the versatility of what Muffet McGraw can dial up with her offense. There, great pass by Meyer. Away from the defense to the corner of the backboard on ball side.
Gustafson 5 for 5. Coming off an 8 for 8 game. Shepard with Gustafson there on defense, and now Meyer tries to push back the other way. Oh, Tania Davis is having a game right now. Double figures for Davis. She knocks down the 3-pointer, and Iowa coming back, and now they're getting a little louder as they dig in on defense. 9-point game.
Trying to post up Jackie Young on Tania Davis. Tania Davis had 22 points in the loss to Florida State.
Kumbawali goes one-on-one and scores.
Yeah, she's capable of making that play, but you know what I don't see out of Notre Dame, and it's okay right now, is I don't see a lot of ball reversal. It's okay tonight, right now. It might be a problem on Sunday.
What's Sunday?
Well, that would happen to be the UConn game.
Oh, I think I heard something about that.
There's a big game coming up. Number 1 versus number 2.
Davis, little off balance that time. But Stewart on the offensive glass.
Number 1's in a little bit of trouble right here. A 9-point game.
Into the hands of Mabry. She starts to direct traffic, tries to settle things down, gets it in deep to Shepard. Just wouldn't finish. Iowa bench up on their feet right now. They could sense a little turn of the tide here in South Bend.
Another good defensive effort by Hannah Stewart, who looks absolutely exhausted, working on both ends. Number 21 in black.
Tania Davis looks gas as well. Remember, coming back off injuries. Another hoop for Gustafson. She stays perfect.
So quick. And Notre Dame has let her every time go over her right shoulder.
6 for 6. Down to a 7-point game. Kumbawali. Oh, that won't go. And no offensive rebound here for Notre Dame. And Iowa will try to cut into the deficit a little bit more.
Notre Dame has like one pass and a shot. Now, fortunately for them, Enrique's been able to make some plays.
Both teams just begging for a whistle right here. Let's get to a timeout. Batted by Young. 3 to go. Davis.
Oh, that's off the front line. That was online.
Beat the shot clock to Kumbawali. Mabry. Meyer for 3. Looked good off her hand, just wouldn't drop down. Turner. Good catch by Turner. And a good finish.
What a catch.
I think Iowa may take a timeout here. No, they're going to keep playing. Or both teams, you can see Mabry hand on the knees. She's trying to get back to full fitness. Davis up top for Iowa. Again, shot clock down to 6. Davis through traffic and tied up. Jump ball possession arrow will give it to Notre Dame when we come back. Everybody take a deep breath. 1:52 to go before halftime. Thanks, Brick. 1:40 to go before halftime. Patterson back into the game for Notre Dame.
It was good to hear Andy and Rebecca back in the studio.
A full house back
it's
there.
Like the game's back, you know, like the game is on. Game time.
Meyer got knocked down. She's back up on her feet. So Abby Prohaska is into the game for the first time for Notre Dame. Gustafson caught up in the air a little bit, and Jackie Young took it away.
That's only her 4th turnover of the season, Gustafson.
Kumbawali gets fouled. 1:07 to go. That'll be the 3rd team foul on Iowa.
I don't think there's a shot that Enrique can't make. I think she can make every shot, but her efficiency is down a little bit. Part of that is because Mabry hasn't been on the floor to balance what she can do. I think sometimes she forces it, but she certainly puts a lot of pressure on your defense. And as you mentioned, she takes 19, almost 20 field goals a game, which is the 2nd most in Division I women's basketball. And she goes to the line 8 times a game. It's a lot of responsibility. And they run this same play, and I think they've scored on it every time on the out of bounds. Baseline out of bounds.
Final minute of the first half, an 11-point lead for Notre Dame. It was a good, solid run for Iowa. Did a better job on the glass. Made a couple shots. Megan Gustafson, a perfect 6 for 6 from the field. They try to get it to her again, but Turner knocks it into the hands of Agumbawali. Numbers for Notre Dame. Big crowd here at Purcell Pavilion tried to will that one in, including number 24 on the court, but it would not go down. Saturday, college hoops doubleheader. Number 19 Purdue, number 7 Michigan tip-off Big Ten play already in Ann Arbor. That's at 3:30 Eastern. Then it's number 2 Kansas hosting Stanford at the Allen Fieldhouse. Both games are on ESPN and the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Michigan looking very impressive, beating North Carolina. Wednesday night, 84-67.
Undefeated, and the Big Ten is going to 20 games, conference games. That's why they're playing so early.
4 on the shot clock. Davis. Time here for a quick push for Notre Dame. Final seconds of the quarter. Batted away. Good hustle play by Meyer to get her hand on the basketball before it got to Agumbawali. 11-point game at halftime. Iowa hanging around. Good little burst in that second quarter. Keep it tight with the number 1 team in the country. Notre Dame heads to the locker room with a 45-34 lead. Now we head to Bristol. John Brickley, Rebecca, and Andy.
It's V Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
Now, this is one way to usher in V-Week, an annual tradition here. And we thought we'd join in. I went sidearm, and Deb, this was actual speed, actually. Got rotator cuff problems. The annual teddy bear toss at halftime. Fans bring teddy bears. They donate them in that unique way, tossing them onto the court, gathered, delivered to kids through the St. Joseph Health Network and Christ Child Society. Well, what'd you see in the first half, Deb Antonelli?
Well, it's an effort to try to find Megan Gustafson, number 10 in black, inside. Sometimes when you can't make threes, there's no space. And Notre Dame in their zone continues to collapse. But when you throw it away from the defense to the corner of the backboard like that last play. The other thing that will help Iowa is they're 2 for 13 outside the three-point line. You have got to shoot it better. They shot at 24% combined in their last 2 games. They've just got to do a better job of making plays.
Shepard with a defensive play in the second half. Starts with Mabry taking it to the basket, and she'll end up at the free throw line.
And that is not the start that Lisa Bluter wanted out of her team. Turn the ball over in a live situation, commit the foul on the other end.
Second personal on Hannah Stewart. Mabry points in the first half. Agumbawali leading the way with 15 for the Irish.
So, Eric, it's not just Gustafson. You heard Rebecca Lobo talking about her efficiency on the inside. Hannah Stewart is 4 for 6. They're combined 10 for 12 on the interior.
Gustafson has a shot blocked by Turner.
That doesn't count as a field goal attempt, by the way. She's still 6 for 6.
That counts as a field goal attempt. That's a shot blocked.
It does?
A shot
okay,
is blocked, right?
Yeah, yes.
Tell me I'm right. Just once.
No,
Just
you're
once.
right. You're right. I'm wrong.
It's not that you're wrong. It's just that maybe I was right. Sevilla, back on.
I got it. It's not a field goal attempt if you get fouled. Look in the short corner, and then another turnover.
Into the hands of Mabry, leads it for Young, and the finish. Iowa closed it to a 7-point game with 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. They have not scored since that point.
You know, Megan Gustafson did not go to the free throw line in the last game.
Agumbawali, unselfish play. It looked like she had an opening. Instead, she handed it off. Timeout, Iowa. The number 1 team in the country storms out of the locker room and dials up the defense.
6-0 run. The Irish on the run.
Championship with Scott Van Pelt. He'll have Saints-Cowboys post-game coverage with the help of Steve Young, plus a Warriors-Raptors breakdown and his picks for college football's championship weekend. Sports Center with SVP after Sporting Kansas City, Portland Timbers on ESPN and the ESPN app. Crucial minutes here for Iowa. Notre Dame comes out of the timeout with some pressure, and Iowa doesn't handle it well. Turnover, Iowa.
I like it. Muffet McGraw is saying right now, we're going to put the pedal on it right here. Push it.
Baseline out of bounds play, layup.
Wide open. This is when number 1 asserts itself on the floor on their home court.
12-0 run for the Irish.
See, it's angles, it's timing. Megan Gustafson is going to work for position. There's no question about it. You got a ball fake, but when you reverse it, you got to give her a chance.
Followed up by Gustafson. She couldn't get it to go. Iowa has come up empty on 10 straight possessions, and Notre Dame far from it right now. They're hitting on all cylinders as Agumbawali scores again.
When I saw Enrique working out with the USA basketball team in Columbia in September, I asked her what she worked on. She said, that play right there. Transition, pull up, mid-range jump shot. It's beautiful.
Sevilla into Gustafson outside. Rare open look for Meyer. Can't knock it down. Iowa is now 2 for 15 from outside the three-point line. And Meyer gets called for the foul.
West Virginia and Florida State are the last 2 opponents that Lisa Bluter faced coming into that game, into this game tonight. They were 9 for 38 from the three-point line. Length and quickness bothers their three-point shooters. Tonight, same thing. And Gustafson is not going to get touches. She's going to have to play in a crowd unless Iowa can make some shots and loosen it up.
Meyer picks up her second personal foul. Kicked away into the game is Caitlin Gilbert, and she's grabbing for that right shoulder. You can see how it's heavily bandaged, and Gilbert grabbed for it right away.
So Brianna Turner looks over here at us and she says she knows that that hurts. She's had a shoulder injury.
Among other injuries, as we know. So the freshman from Indianapolis, obviously, wearing a brace to try to keep that shoulder in one piece, but it doesn't take much for it just to be so painful. So she goes right back to the locker room.
I mean, I'm not charting the blobs, the baseline out of bounds by Muffet McGraw's team, but I think they've only not scored 1 time on their baseline out of bounds plays. And Agumbawali has scored at least 4 baskets.
Meyer rips the 3, and that ends the Notre Dame run. First point since 3.5 minutes to go in the second quarter for the Hawkeyes.
It looks like Iowa's going into a triangle and 2 right here. Jackie Young and Enrique Agumbawali are being guarded in the triangle and 2 action. It's a defense where you have 2 players guarding man-to-man. Enrique Agumbawali is getting one of the defenders. Jackie Young's getting the other. The other 3 form a triangle and guard like in a zone. So 2 are in man, the rest are in zone.
Another baseline out of bounds play. Almost put down by Shepard. Tipped out by Turner. Abby Prohaska into the game for Notre Dame.
Staying in that triangle and 2.
Three-pointer for Agumbawali. 20 again. She's gone for 20 or more in each game this year. This is game number 7 for Notre Dame. And a whistle against the Irish.
Look at Enrique's footwork. Eyes to the rim. Elbow under the ball. 10 toes to the rim. Beautiful.
She picked up the personal.
You think she flashes back to the 2 biggest threes in college basketball last year?
I would.
Every time,
I would never close my eyes. I don't want to go to sleep. I want to just remember that time and again.
Good duck in.
Shepard, outlet Agumbawali. The pull-up, the lob to Turner, and a foul called on Davis. Well, it looks like Agumbawali in the first half was looking for her shot, but we've seen her a couple times here in the second half. The dish down to Jackie Young, the pass there to Turner, trying to get her teammates involved. She's still going to get her points, but Notre Dame's going to be at their best if everyone is getting involved, because they've got that kind of depth. Turner into double figures now.
Enrique, 3.5 assists a game, leads the team right now.
One of two for Turner. Third Notre Dame player into double figures. Meyer coming off the three, her first points of the game. Gustafson on the bench right now. Just watching her work in person instead of on tape. Knocked away. Agumbawali tipped it, calls for it, takes it to the hoop for two more. Another timeout called by Iowa. Number one, Notre Dame continues to push the pedal down. Enrique Agumbawali now with 24, and the lead is 26.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Audi.
More highlights from the teddy bear toss. You saw I was the score on a couple, because when the fans a few rows back were trying to reach the court, they were hitting us in the head.
Yeah.
So I turned around and caught a couple to send them around. Reminder, men's basketball doubleheader coming up on Saturday. Purdue and Michigan top 20 matchup as they open up Big Ten play. And then Stanford and number 2 Kansas, both games on ESPN and the ESPN app. Iowa basketball out of the Iowa timeouts.
Well, the man-to-man defense has been terrific out of the locker room. All zone in the first half. The adjustment by Muffet McGraw out of the locker room. 4.5 minutes, and they have outscored Iowa 18-3 in this quarter.
The things that drive you crazy if you're on the other side, Lisa Bluter, they've had a couple of turnovers coming out of timeouts, coming out of the locker room, as we saw.
You want your situational offense to be really good. Baseline out of bounds, sideline out of bounds, after timeouts, we call those ATOs. You want a high percentage of scoring off of those situations, especially if you're going to take on a team like Notre Dame.
Shepard now with 8 as she scores. Foul called on Notre Dame. Shepard gets her second personal. Gustafson back in the game.
Right there. That's a terrible pass. Meyer's got to deliver that a little bit better.
That's the 15th turnover for Iowa. Notre Dame has 4 turnovers tonight. Some extended minutes for the Notre Dame bench. Michaela Vaughn into the game. Prohaska stays out there. Agumbawali tried to drop it down to Shepard. Somehow, some way, Jackie Young was there to save it. Oh, good hustle play. Prohaska has provided some good minutes off the bench. She had a 4-point, 4 assist, 4 steal game against DePaul. Look at her come in here with a clean block.
All ball. Back in the zone. Stewart getting great position inside.
And finishing first points in the second half for Hannah Stewart. Now into double figures with 10. Davis with 12, Gustafson with 12, Stewart with 10. Remember, Davis is the one who made some big shots in the first half to keep it close, but she has not scored in the second half. Tanaya gets a rebound here.
One pass and a shot again when the game slows down.
Tough left-hand runner from Davis. Rebound for Notre Dame. Young. Gustafson rips down the rebound. First time Iowa's taken on a #1 team since 2002. They lost to UConn in the NCAA tournament. They knocked off a #1 team back in 1987, beat Texas and Miami. Big challenge here. You heard from Lisa Bluter, and you can see coming back to the bench with a sling is Caitlin Gilbert.
Nice pick by Mabry. Numbers.
Young, 2 more. Lisa Bluter in the locker room before the game telling her team, fight for Iowa. Well, I think they'll fight here a little bit, but it's tough because you're taking on Notre Dame with that talented starting 5.
Well, one of the things she told her team at shoot-around this morning, don't look at the scoreboard, don't play by the scoreboard, don't worry about the opponent, worry about Iowa. Let's get better. And, you know, you play a schedule like Lisa Bluter put in front of her team. West Virginia, Florida State, highly athletic. The only teams that are similar to those teams in the Big Ten is Maryland. I think Rutgers has some athleticism and some length. But Maryland's the preseason pick. Iowa was picked second. You play Notre Dame. They're the best team in the country right now.
First point of the second half for Gustafson. Those were the first free throws of the game for Iowa.
Staying in the triangle and 2.
Shot clock at 5. Agumbawali time. Not this time. Batted out by Iowa. Notre Dame will hold on to it.
Coaches constantly concerned about developing good habits, taking care of the ball, crashing the glass, establishing the kind of identity you want to play with. And I'm not saying that Muffet McGraw has put this one away, but I'm guaranteeing you right now she's thinking about Sunday and UConn and how you have to make minimal mistakes. And you can't make back-to-back mistakes. So crashing the glass, taking care of the ball, right people taking shots, tempo, all those things are concern right now. And then, of course, how you're going to defend.
As we get into the 4th quarter, we'll talk a little bit more about the matchup here on Sunday. #1 Notre Dame, #2 Connecticut. Vaughn getting her first points.
Skip over the top, and Gustafson was open.
Good move by Meyer to get free for 3. Second 3-pointer of the quarter for the junior from Mason City, Iowa. 3-year starter for the Hawkeyes. Inside of 2 to play. 3rd quarter, batted away by Ollinger.
Maybe that peanut butter and jelly sandwich did help her give her a little energy.
Savella to Ollinger. Jackie Young. Mabry. All the way to the basket. 4-2. Gustafson. Count it, and the foul. First field goal of the second half for Megan Gustafson.
So quick, so good at reading the one-on-one matchup. If you turn quickly to the baseline and over that right shoulder, there's no way to get help there in time.
Vaughn and Shepard check out. Vaughn picked up her second personal foul.
According to her hoop stats, Megan Gustafson scores 1.54 points per possession. That's one of the highest in the nation.
That's efficient.
When you count field goal attempts and the times that she goes to the free throw line, it's highly efficient.
Well, she's having an off night by her standards. She's shooting 70% from the field, so that's going to bring down her field goal percentage. She came in to the number 76.8. Mabry to the line.
Marina Mabry just knows how to play. She understands spacing. She's got range, size at the top of the offense to see over the top. Good free throw shooter.
championship pedigree, big part of that run to the title, and I think that's one of the key points for this Notre Dame team. They've got that experience. They came from behind in so many games last year, 13 wins over ranked opponents. Remember that stretch run where they were down at halftime in the final 4 games of the year, down by double digits in both final 4 games, and this is just such a gritty, tough, experienced group that they don't get down.
No, they don't. Last year in the national championship game, they were down 15 to Mississippi State with about 6:40 in the third quarter and came back.
Final minute of what's been an outstanding third quarter for Notre Dame. Outscoring Iowa 29-12. Correction. 32-12 as Agumbawali hits from deep. 27 points. That was her 19th field goal attempt. Every game this year, she's had at least 19. Ollinger. First points for Amanda Ollinger, averaging 5 a game.
Last shot of the quarter.
Down to 7. Young on the run. Turner on the follow was fouled, and she'll head to the free throw line to shoot a couple. Foul on Hannah Stewart, her 3rd personal. Notre Dame as a team 10 of 15 from the free throw line as Turner adds to that total.
You could hear Muffet McGraw, right?
I was watching. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. See, we're getting close to that time in the game where now everything's shifting in her mind to the UConn game on Sunday.
And there's no peeking at the scoreboard here. Final seconds. Sabellin. That will do it for the third quarter. Ollinger hit the open shot, and that's what had the Notre Dame head coach a little upset. When you're the coach of the defending national champs, the #1 team in the country, you have a higher standard. Speaking of high standards, Arike, big game again.
Number 1, Notre Dame. Number 2, Connecticut. Women's basketball royalty versus the reigning queens. Gino, Muffet, oh my. The Women's Jimmy V Classic, Sunday at 4 on ESPN.
Hope you're ready, because coming up on Sunday, number 1 versus number 2. Your first take there, Deb.
Well, if you take a look at this, the top 3 things, the 3 S's, they share it, they shoot it, and they can score it, okay? The third...
I thought for a second you were quizzing me on
3 S's, yeah, okay? They both do that.
Young scores,
okay?
gotcha.
They both have great playmakers that no matter where the shot clock is, or 2-for-1s, or situational offense, they have plenty of players off the bounce. They share that in common. They also have the big game experience. They're not afraid of the moment, okay? They can do all those things. But here's where I think the difference in the game is going to be. Notre Dame plays more off the bounce this year, 19 free throws a game. UConn averages 60% of their baskets assisted. They play off the pass. They're shooting it much better from the 3 than what Notre Dame is doing. That could be something to keep your eye on. Notre Dame free throws versus UConn 3s. That's what I'm watching for.
I'm just making sure if I get asked again, I remember what the 3 S's
3
are.
S's.
So I'm there with you.
Share it, shoot it, score it. And they do it from all 5 positions. If you're a basketball fan, how can you not tune in at 4 o'clock on Sunday and watch this game? Number 1 and number 2, look what they did for us last year in the Final Four. It's always a big game. There's always a lot on the line.
Great history between the 2 programs. 6th meeting all time coming up on Sunday as the top 2 teams in the country. Notre Dame was number 1 in the 5 such previous meetings. One time, that was 2001. Didn't end well for Notre Dame in that game. That was Sue Bird beating the buzzer, but they have had memorable games. Muffet McGraw's had success, more success than anyone else going head against Gino. Of course, they were in the same conference for a long, long time, had memorable battles there. And you made a great point. Even in the third quarter, there's there's no regard for the scoreboard. It's the wheels are turning for. If we make that mistake on Sunday, that's going to be 2 for UConn. Or 3 for UConn, more to your point about the three-point shot.
Here's what I see. UConn hits a 3. Coach Auriemma gets in his 2-2-1. He forces Notre Dame to go deep into the shot clock. Right now, they're a team that's 1 pass and a shot. That's going to play into his favor, okay? On the other end, in transition, both teams can score. Backside threes, Notre Dame is going to have a disadvantage right now at that because they're only making 2.8 a game.
Young, tough shot. Got it to go, and the foul. Great finish by Jackie Young.
But if Notre Dame can do that, attack the middle, go side to side, reverse the ball, attack, you can get UConn in foul trouble. And that is something that Muffet McGraw will be looking for. Most wins versus Coach Auriemma. You see Muffet with 12. Harry Peretta, he's got 12 as well at Villanova. That's back in the Big East days.
3-point play for Jackie Young. She'll head to the bench.
You know, in that last game against UConn in the Final Four that went to overtime, and of course we all know Enrique hit the big 3. Jackie Young had 32 in that game. UConn doesn't give up 30 points many nights. Matter of fact, the last time they gave it up was in 2014. Jewel Lloyd had 31 when 1 and 2 were meeting, but it was switched. UConn was number 1, Notre Dame was number 2, and UConn won that game.
He goes coast to coast. Scoops it in for 2. For just joining us, she got things started. A couple of 3-pointers in the first quarter. Notre Dame jumped out to an 11-point lead after 1. Iowa closed it to a 7-point game, but Notre Dame turned up the defense, and now it's showtime here in South Bend. And a timeout called by Iowa. 30-second timeout. We'll take it as well. 7:41 to go in the fourth quarter. Notre Dame pulling away.
Incredible finish.
Back at South Bend, 7-0 run for Notre Dame. They are on top by 37. Number 1 Irish leading number 14 Iowa here in South Bend. Number 1 versus number 2 coming up on Sunday. You see the series history between these two programs. The timeout, Meyer gets one to rattle in for Iowa. I think the one big thing that I think you'll see Sunday, it's going to be a battle primarily 5-on-5. UConn not getting a lot from their bench right now. They have an outstanding experienced 3 with Dangerfield as Mabry knocks down another 3. Wow. Collier and Samuelson. The 2 X factors for UConn. Kristen Williams, freshman, hasn't played in a game this big. And Megan Walker, remember, she didn't play in the Final Four against Notre Dame last year. That's the other member of the starting 5 for UConn. So there's some inexperience there for the Huskies against this experienced Notre Dame team.
I mean, everyone knows about Katie Lou Samuelson, Nafisa Collier, Crystal Dangerfield. I'm telling you, Kristen Williams, she has got some toughness about her, a little grit. Can't wait to see her playing in this environment.
Mabry heads to the bench, 18 points, very strong game, 6 of 12 shooting, 3 3-pointers, had 5 assists as well, and just 1 turnover. Inside of 7 to go in the fourth quarter.
The good thing for Notre Dame, she shook a little rust off before she gets in a matchup with UConn.
Gustafson still fighting.
Really tough, playing through the double team.
Notre Dame now picked up by number 30, but game on her third team.
I think their timing was off a little bit, and when they got her the basketball, Notre Dame just did such a good job collapsing on her all night, forced to go to her right hand. But, you know, Iowa didn't hit enough threes, and as they reversed the ball, you know, sometimes you got to wait for Gustafson to get a seal on a defender on the back row. That requires some timing.
Well, the senior from Port Wing, Wisconsin, has hit the 20-point mark here against the number 1 team in the country, Notre Dame.
Easy. It looks so easy for her, right?
Gumbawali again.
Bang.
30 for Gumbawali.
Did she break a sweat yet?
Third time this year she's gone for 30 in the game. Good drive to the basket by Sevilla.
Notre Dame has 3 of the top 4 scorers in the ACC. Of course, Asia Durr is the other one for Louisville.
Vaughn was fouled. She'll go to the free throw line.
I mean, this is classic, textbook jump shot. 10 toes to the rim, elbow under the ball. Eyes on the target, let it fly.
Well, she is closing in on Skylar Diggins-Smith, #1 mark all time at Notre Dame. Now 403 points away from #1 on the all-time scoring list at Notre Dame. And at the rate she puts shots up, she's attempted 20 shots here today. Notre Dame came into the game averaging 89 points a game. They're at 98 right now with over 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. There's going to be plenty of scoring opportunities to go around for Arike and the teammates. Vaughn in trouble, needs help, gets it from Agumbawale, who travel.
Well, Arike did score 791 points last season for Muff and McGraw. She did average 21 points.
So you're telling me there's a chance she'll break the record?
I'm pretty sure she's going to break it as long as she stays healthy.
She's gone for 30 for the 6th time in her career.
Really nice show and go inside. When you don't feel contact, you turn and face. Megan Gustafson has terrific footwork on the inside.
That's the 4th team foul on Notre Dame. Vaughn picks up her 4th personal.
You got to read the weak side before you throw it in there. She's constantly working to seal. Now she'll seal against the middle person on the zone.
Stewart was fouled. That will be the 5th team foul. And that will be the 5th personal foul on Michaela Vaughn. So she's done for the night. So 30 for Arike Agumbawale. She will up her season average. 3 for 4 from outside the three-point line as well, as Vaughn checks out.
Notre Dame has 4 players averaging in double figures. Mabry will be the 5th when she gets a few more games. UConn has 5 players that average in double figures. It's going to be great. Jimmy V week.
A couple of free throws for Stewart. Danielle Cosgrove, I beg your pardon, into the game for Notre Dame. Agumbawale, step back 3. And Stewart pulls it down for Iowa.
They just struggle in this triangle offense to get the ball inside against the zone. There's a good pass.
From Sevillen to Gustafson.
That pass was on the money, right to the target hand. Remember, Iowa's picked to finish 2nd in the Big Ten behind Maryland.
Cosgrove was short. Prohaska in deep, and she's called for a travel. Mabry will come back into the game, and Arike Agumbawale will head out. Another fantastic performance for the senior. 30 points, 4 rebounds. 13 of 21 from the field. Gustafson had it knocked out of her hands. It'll be Iowa basketball Sunday, 4 o'clock. A reminder, #1 Notre Dame, #2 UConn, the Women's Jimmy V Classic here in South Bend. You can watch it on the ESPN app from anywhere.
Did you see that off the glass? That was gorgeous. Gustafson, what a soft touch. What an impressive post player.
24 points for the senior, 10 of 14 shooting. Prohaska off the Mabry miss. Cosgrove hasn't been shy. Gustafson rips one away. 8 rebounds now. She closes in on another double-double, averaging 23 points and 12.5 boards a game. Patterson with the rebound off to Jackie Young. Inside of 4 minutes to play here in South Bend. Notre Dame will improve to 7-0 on the season. Their winning streak will stretch to 13 games. Gustafson tumbled out of bounds. Mabry will head out again as Nicole Benz comes in for Notre Dame.
Check out the schedule on the wins. Number 15, DePaul. Number 9, Oregon State in the championship game of the Vancouver Classic.
Third tries the charm for Danielle Cosgrove. Gets her first points. 5 points now this season in 5 games played. 101 on the board for Notre Dame. 3.5 to go in the fourth. Gustafson still working. The miss. The rebound, the putback. And timeout called for a substitution as Maureen Butler will come in. Taniya Davis will check out. Davis finishes with 15 points. Back to Cosgrove. Prohaska rejected by Gustafson. I think that was a pass though, and Prohaska has it back. 7 on the shot clock. Cosgrove. Rebound for Gustafson. That will give her a double-double, 26 and 10. 60th double-double of her career, 5th this year. Patterson. Tried to go all the way. Knocked out of bounds by Iowa. Here comes Olinger into the game. This should be for Gustafson. What'd you think? You had a chance to see her work in person close up here today.
I think she's a relentless worker on the block, and I think Iowa's going to continue to get better. You know, without Kathleen Doyle, their best passer, best perimeter defender, who they'll get back soon. She'll be connected with Gustafson on how to get the ball inside, and they're a better three-point shooting team than they've shown in the last 3 games. That will pick up for Lisa Bluder. But Gustafson, she's a pro.
Iowa hosting Robert Morris Sunday afternoon. Still ahead. They've got Iowa State Wednesday in Iowa City. Then at Drake, December 21st. Drake and Iowa State, both in the top 25, along with Iowa at number 14. 2 on the shot clock. Whatever it takes, Danielle Patterson. So there it is with that matchup with a couple in-state rivals, Iowa State and Drake, coming up for the Hawkeyes, who will drop to 4-2 on the season.
No more sleeping on Drake, right? They're not just one of the better teams in the Valley. They're a really good basketball team. I actually gave them a vote in the very first AP poll. I thought they were that good. And they're very close to having 5 players with over 1,000 points on their roster this season. That's a lot of offense for Jenny Baranczyk at Drake, who played for Lisa Bluder at Iowa.
So it was not to be today for Bluder's team. Their signature win this year right now is that come from behind win against West Virginia when they were down by 24. Iowa got it to 7 in the second quarter, but that's when Notre Dame dug in on defense, started getting what they wanted on offense, and season high 103 points on the board for the Irish.
I'm so glad Rebecca Lobo spent some time on Drake in the studio at halftime. Very deserving. You know, they're playing now for seeding in the NCAA tournament. That's the way Drake should be looking at it, not whether they'll be in or did they have to win their conference tournament. They got some good quality wins early. They'll have a chance for some more.
It'll be Notre Dame basketball. Right now they're even with their season high. 103 points, got it against Harvard in their season opener. Also went for 100 against DePaul, 101 to be precise. So over the century mark for the third time this season. Grabbed by Sevilla. And Sanders is fouled. She'll head to the free throw line with 46.2 to go here in the fourth quarter.
So Lisa Bluter will have some good film. There'll be some spots where they'll learn. It's a good teaching tool. You've gone against the best team, gone against a couple of athletic teams. All of that is going to help prepare them for the Big Ten. Of course, you see Jan Jensen and Jenny Fitzgerald sitting to each side of Lisa Bluter. That staff, those three have been together on the sideline for 27 years together.
Pretty good